So your beliefs are a little bit like a pathway in the forest. You see, what happens is once you have an experience in life, it can often trigger a belief system. And then what you do is you keep treading down the same pathway of that belief to reinforce it. You make the neuronal pathway, which is essentially what a belief is, stronger and stronger in your brain. So you have thoughts that are consistent with that belief, you have emotions that are connected to that belief, and you exhibit or you show behaviors that are consistent with that belief. So a typical example might be that you have a certain political belief. Then what you do is you look for evidence and you read newspapers and you watch news channels that are politically biased in a direction that reinforces that belief system. And you feed it with behaviors and emotions and thoughts that reinforce the belief. And that's perfectly okay if that belief is a healthy one and it's one that's serving you and is beneficial to you in your life. So feel free to keep walking the same pathway in the forest. But what if it's destructive or negative or a limiting belief? How do you find a new pathway? How do you form a new pathway in the forest? Well, essentially, you have to take charge of your thinking, feeling, and doing triangle. You see, all of these three things, the way you think, feel, and behave, are related to that belief, which is kind of the core. But if you start to think differently, if you start to behave differently, if you start to ultimately feel differently, then you're treading down a different unknown path in the forest. You're going into uncharted territory. And slowly, you have different experiences. And if you do that more and more, and those new experiences become, repetitive, you start to find a new pathway in your forest. You start to walk a different route. And ultimately, at some point, that programs in a stronger and more powerful belief than the old one. And that then becomes your default. That becomes your normal route when you go your walk in the forest each day. So beliefs are really just pathways that you tread down on a regular basis. But if you start to expose yourself to new experiences, to challenge your old beliefs, to, put yourselves into different situations, if you actively plan change into your life, even if you don't know what that change will bring, then you might just find that you start to form healthier, new, more beneficial growth pathways through your forest, new beliefs. And if you do that, you might just find that the world that you live in changes a little bit with it.